Hello everyone, my name is Rathas and welcome to the clan. So without further ado, let's get into this video. As I just want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you that is adhering to the call of action to click the like button. We are consistently on 1,000 likes every time 24 hours has lapsed on the video, sometimes even before, and I'm loving that so much. And as a result of that, the channel is moving, slow but moving. We are only interested in the movement of the channel, whether it's slow or fast. We are cool as long as the clan is adhering to the call of action to like, share, as well as subscribe. If you are just watching, do consider subscribing and be part of the honorable clan members. Anyways, guys, let's go to the South Gauteng High Court in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. Woo! Advocate Zulu has Sergeant Muhan pinned against the wall, y'all. He's trying really hard to maneuver or outmaneuver Advocate Zulu, but Advocate Zulu just keeps giving him a long rope to hang himself. One of the long ropes that he hanged himself with was the story that he told. But we'll get to the story. First, let's talk about Sergeant Muhan's voice. Why his voice suddenly went low? What happened to the confident voice when he was reading the AVL? What happened to the voice when Advocate Balya was re-examining him on? He was quite confident and he knew what he was talking about and he had answers for everything. But the most important segment of the AVL, or where it matters most, he would suddenly have a sudden case of amnesia and he would forget. But anyways, we are not there. We are on Advocate Zulu, who has him pinned down. The first question that I felt that was very important regarding the AVL was the access idle. Why the vehicle was in access idle. And of course, you know, he was giving this explanation that made absolute no sense. Traffic during level 3 lockdown when we were all told to stay at home. You know, one thing that I love about the clan members, some of you live not too far away from these points that have been mentioned in the AVL, especially the malls, as well as the garages, as well as, what do you call these places that were mentioned in the AVL. They were closed during from level 5 lockdown. They were closed, these establishments. And here Sergeant Muhan was talking about going to check his wheels at this particular garage, and people that live not far away from that garage say, no, that garage was closed because of the lockdown. And because the traffic around that area was not as heavy as it would be in a normal time if there was no lockdown. So the garage were closed. The Wimpy was closed. The mall was closed. Which establishment is he talking about in the area that is mentioned in the AVL? So not long into the testimony of Sergeant Muhan, this is when Sergeant Muhan and Advocate Balya wanted the court to give him leave to be able to tell the witness that he is familiar with the area of the ancient garage on Gray Avenue somewhere, I think in the Northwest or in Carltonville. I can't remember where that was. And of course, I thought to myself as well, but Advocate Balya, but Advocate Zulu, you're not supposed to say things like that in court, which the judge, of course, reminded him that as an advocate or the office of the court, he cannot do that. And he said, that is why I'm asking for leave. And then something about the Ratha coming and stepping into the 21st century when he was like, guys, use Google Map. I was like, did I hear him correctly? Did I hear our judge stepping into the 21st century, democracy, South Africa? I was like, well done, judge. I didn't know you know Google Map. And I thought that was a brilliant idea of the judge to suggest that they use Google Map. But of course, you know, Google Map gets updated and upgraded and all of these things. Things will not look as how they looked back 3 years ago. But I was like, you know what? You can still go to Google Map. You can still use the old dated map of Google Map and then look at exactly what was there that Ndanzi had mentioned, whether it was an open field where he was being assaulted or tubed or electrocuted or whatever the case might be, using the old map. Because of course, if they have the new one, which when they did come back from the adjournment, because the judge gave them time to go look at the Google map together with the state and then come back when they are ready, and then they are able to demonstrate what Advocate Zulu is talking about to the witness. When they came back, they said, well, the Google map had been updated, so things no longer look the same anymore. So they decided that they are going to abandon, that's what the defense is going to abandon that question. And I was like, no, Advocate Zulu, you could actually have searched for the old map, because the old map would definitely prove what you wanted to put to the witness. But they moved on to something else. This is where Advocate Zulu asked a specific question to Sergeant Muhan. Sergeant Muhan then thanked Advocate Zulu for the opportunity to tell this story. But Advocate Zulu was not having it. He just said to the judge, please, if I may ask the court to direct the witness, I'm paraphrasing here, to ask the witness to answer the specific question I asked. But the judge came to the witness's defense. I understood what the judge was doing at this point, because indeed the witness did say in kind that he was appreciative of the opportunity to tell the story. And this is when the judge reminded Zulu that actually he asked that, or he thanked you for giving him the opportunity to tell the story of what happened from the 16th to the 18th or to the 20-something of June 2020. And boy, oh boy, were we in for it, because he started telling a story. I was listening to the story. I wanted to hear it attentively. In the story, there were so many new evidence that were introduced by Sergeant Muhan. And I was like, but then this is the sort of stuff that you should have said in the beginning, in your evidence in chief, that we were driving a car that was faulty. Yes, it was, it would be taken for service. It would be taken to be fixed. But as we continue to use it during the course of the day, it would have punctured wheels. It's not going to balance. It's going to give us this problem and that problem. No, instead, he went and read the AVL and realized that Ntanzi, he remembers everything that we did to him. Now I have to justify why this was happening and why that was happening, why the engine was idle and why there was a heartbreak here. He needed to tell a story to justify all these activities that he was doing on the vehicle. And the question that I'm asking, if you have an AVL in your vehicle, is that how you treat it? Is that how a normal driver treats their vehicle? I don't think so. Yeah, I understand it's a state's car, it's not his car, who gives a, so he will do as he pleases. But to me, that story was saying, I am covering up all these points that may say that Ntanzi is correct. Here at this point, indeed, he was being abused. At this point, indeed, he was being electrocuted. In this point, indeed, he was being tubed. That is the story that he's trying to tell, to cover up why the vehicle behaves in the manner in which it did at this point, why the access idle, why the over speeding, why this and why that. He was coming up with all sorts of stories. And then I could see Advocate Zulu was looking at him and he was like, yeah, please hang yourself, continue. Hang yourself all the way if you want to. And then I was looking at the judge who was entertained. I looked at the advocates, including Balya, who was shocked. And you look at the courtroom, it was in stitches. And I was watching and listening and I was like, huh? It was hilarious. The story he told was funny. And I agree with Advocate Zulu that he fabricated the story. And then I thought at this point when Advocate Zulu accused him of fabricating the story, Advocate Balya was going to stand up and object, or the judge was going to come in defense of the witness, but they all kept quiet because Advocate Balya realized that if I stand up on objection here, it's not going to help. This man had just messed up the entire re-examination of the AVL by telling a story which now the defense has some loopholes that they are going to use. They're going to ask questions about the vehicle, and rightfully so. If this vehicle went for service, can we see those books or the report? If the vehicle had a problem during the course of the activities during the time they had Ntanzi, those records are needed. The reports are needed. They can ask for that. And then Advocate Balya realized that, oh my goodness, why did you have to go that direction? And anyways, I feel that the AVL is definitely a thorn under Balya's foot, as well as the judge, who still has an egg on his face for allowing the AVL into evidence. Sergeant Muhan did not see Advocate Zulu coming about the lockdown level 3. I think it was level 5 from the 1st of June to around August or late July. That was level 5 lockdown, if I'm not mistaken. And then I think at that time, we were all locked in. No more was opened. No garage, okay, maybe a few garages were open, particularly where it is busy, where like essential workers may need petrol and other services in those garages. But in far-flung areas, those garages were not opened. I'm telling you from experience myself, when I was going to a funeral of an aunt of mine that had passed on from Kovovo. So it was quite interesting to hear him talking about that. But I think the Advocate Zulu was not going to question the witness on this particular lockdown of 2020. So basically what I think he was doing, he was planting in the court's mind that do not forget that this testimony that we are hearing in this court happened during level 3 lockdown, where nobody was moving. We had a curfew and then all those stuff. And then remember the curfew, right? And then already in the testimony of all these activities were happening was beyond 9 p.m. So where exactly or what exactly is this sergeant was talking about regarding the AVL and the activities of his vehicle? So definitely the court had it in mind that this guy is lying. Level 3 lockdown had a curfew. So Advocate Zulu moved on. He did not question him on the level 3 lockdown. Like I said, it was for the purposes of the court records that at this time, it was level 3 lockdown. And he's going to argue it in his argument, I believe. And another thing I keep asking myself, what traffic was there during lockdown? Did you ever travel the N3? During lockdown? Did you travel any of the major national roads during lockdown? Empty. But this guy talks about traffic. The reason why the vehicle was idling here is because of traffic. Why the vehicle was off, the engine was off here because of traffic and road signs. As if they actually follow road signs. So when Sergeant Muhan realized that Advocate Zulu has him by the nuts, this is when he was like becoming personal. He would make example that a vehicle is exactly like a human body. Just like you on Friday, you were not in court because you fell ill. Same goes with a vehicle. A vehicle also does feel ill, I suppose. I was like, okay. Whatever, but a human body and a vehicle do not behave the same, period. Especially a vehicle that has gone to service, he's lying through his teeth. The other thing that actually baffled me a little bit about Judge Ratha was when he assisted the witness by asking questions to Advocate Zulu. Instead of saying, you are not allowed to ask the advocate of the court questions, you answer questions because you are here to assist the court in coming to a conclusion regarding this matter. But instead he was like, well, he basically snitched on the interpreter, that the interpreter forgot the how. This was after Sergeant Muhan was being a little bit sarcastic towards Advocate Zulu regarding the assault of Ndanzi. He said he should ask Ndanzi where, when, and how was he abused by the police that had escorted him to all these places all over Gauteng and the Northwest Province. I must also mention that I'm a little bit impressed with the judge's behavior. He was interjecting unnecessarily at some point, but it was not as annoying as he used to. But then again, you know, guys, every time when we go like, wow, the judge was a judge today, he comes back tomorrow, the normal Ratha that we have come to know, who comes and interjects and becomes the defense and becomes the judge and the prosecutor, probably even the spectators. And he did not do that today. He was being a judge, and I like that. And I wish that he would stop interjecting where he's not supposed to. He would stop becoming the defense lawyer of the witnesses. I like that, Judge. Can you please continue being a judge, being neutral? And I felt that Judge Ratha today was being snappy towards Advocate Balya. He was not the favorite child today. But I must say, guys, I was pretty impressed when the judge stepped into the 21st century and he was talking about Google Map. I was like, just yesterday you were talking about machines not making mistake, and then you come today and you talk about Google Map. I was like, yes, Judge, keep it up, bro. You know, when I was listening to the story of Sergeant Muhan, I'm sorry for going back there. It's just that it's so interesting what a liar he is. Just yesterday, Advocate Balya, when he was re-examining him, he wanted to know why the vehicle had stopped here or why the vehicle behaved in this manner here. And he said, oh yeah, it was about the speed limit that he violated. He said that, well, the vehicle had gone for service and when he was driving it, he would not feel his foot basically hitting the accelerator full, and as a result, the vehicle violated speed limit. I thought that was a plausible explanation because I am guilty of that. That's why I don't like driving. I am guilty of that as well. Whenever I'm driving, for some reason, my foot just go in without me realizing that I have gone beyond the speed limit. I don't drive. I think the last time I drove probably was like 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago. And this time around, whenever I'm in a car, I'm very, very cautious. So I just don't like driving because I know my foot when I am driving. For some reason, it just goes without me realizing, and I am in full speed. Without realizing that I'm in full speed either. But to come back today and say, well, the vehicle we were driving is problematic. Yes, it went for service. Suddenly now it was not balanced. Suddenly now the wheels needed to be checked. I was like, who do you think you're fooling? Because I don't think the clever Ratha appreciated being made a fool of in that manner. Advocate Zulu then asked Sergeant Muhan about the escort. I don't think Sergeant Muhan realized that whatever he's going to say about the escort, Advocate Zulu is going to request the court that the AVLs of those vehicles also be submitted or be read in the court together with pocketbooks. And boy, the pocketbooks are coming tomorrow because Advocate Zulu reminded Sergeant Muhan that the pocketbooks ought to be brought tomorrow when the court resumes at 10 a.m. And there was a sound that Sergeant Muhan made, almost like a dumbfounded sound that he made, like I think he wanted to say something about the pocketbooks, that they don't exist anymore. And I did hear the judge as well. I was like, well, if the pocketbooks don't exist, I don't know what message he was sending to the witness indirectly that lied through your teeth that they don't exist, just like all the other police officers that have not submitted their pocketbooks except for Musia's pocketbook, which was leaked, I think, by the current station commander of the former police station he used to work at. Now, all these ones, they really need to go start shredding those pocketbooks. And it was quite funny yesterday, which I forgot to mention about the dockets. Remember in my other video on Monday, I said, hey, we haven't forgotten about the dockets. Where are the dockets? And then, of course, Advocate Zulu yesterday wanted to know about the dockets. And then I cannot believe that the Sergeant Muhan said, what his name, Gininda still has them. I'm like, there's an order of the court that these dockets need to be submitted to the court. And why are they still with Gininda? Why is Gininda going against the order of the court? Why is still holding these documents? These documents, we want them. We want to see something. We want to see something. And then I'm telling you, the pocketbooks, you and I can bet, tomorrow, the pocketbooks will not be submitted. They don't exist. They do exist, but we're going to be told that they were destroyed. So that is what I remember what happened today in a nutshell. So my thoughts basically about what happened today was that Sergeant Muhan is a liar and he knows he's a liar. I think at some point he also realized that I messed up here. And because he is a man of pride, I think he continued with the lies. Like, I'm going to stick to the lie all the way to the end. I don't think that the court believed a word of the story that he told, and all the lies that he tried to cover up why the car behaved in the manner in which it did, because of course he was the one that was manipulating the readings of the AVLs. I suspect that the police know very well that the vehicles that they drive, and especially if they're going to have a suspect that they want to make confessions, they know exactly how to make the vehicle behave in order for the AVL to behave in a different way. Unfortunately, this is a Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. Everything is going to be scrutinized. And I don't think they counted on that in this case, it's not going to be like all the other ordinary cases, like if it was you and I, that AVL probably would not have made it would not have made it into evidence, and probably would have told a story of ordinary citizen that would have said, actually, this and that happened. But of course, they did not count on that this is a Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, and that is why the AVL is being scrutinized. And the other thing that I was quite surprised about when the judge asked Advocate Balya about a witness that is going to take the stand tomorrow, and he said there's going to be an expert who was going to talk on the movement of the vehicles. And I was like, so now we have experts? That's because he realized that he cannot rely on this witness any longer than he already has. Regrets. And it was also quite interesting to hear that Mahola is still on the wings waiting to testify. And this is the same person that is writing an examination on Friday. Interesting. So basically, that is just my teensy-weensy little summary about what happened in court today. But I just want to say something to an honorable clan member. I did read your comment about your false arrest and detention for 5 months. Mercy, you were sharing your story, and I could not believe my eyes as I was reading. I was so heartbroken for you. I was thinking to myself, oh my goodness, so it is happening where innocent South African citizens are being arrested and smeared with a crime they did not commit. Thankfully, thank goodness that you were acquitted of that accusation from the police. And I am glad that you're suing the state. I hope your case is going well. And I hope that those police officers at some point themselves, they are going to suffer the consequences of smearing a crime you did not commit. So I hope you are healing. I hope that your case is going well. I support you all the way for suing the state. Anyways, guys, if you like the video, give it a like. If you didn't like the video, give it a like. Anyways, do subscribe to my YouTube channel. And don't forget to click the bell notification so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everybody that's super thanking the channel. Anna, thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Anna, for super thanking the channel and supporting it financially. I always appreciate you guys. You guys know my prayer for all of y'all. Abundance of blessings. Whatever it is that you want, may you get it 10 times fold. I appreciate you guys so much. Also, leave me a comment down below and let me know, what did you think about the proceedings in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial today? What did you think of that story that Sergeant Muhan gave? Was it not hilarious? Anyways, guys, also share the video far and wide, and don't forget to like and subscribe to other YouTubers' channels when you come across them, because you know the algorithm, the story is very true. So thank you so much for watching. See you next time with a new video. Goodbye.